Welcome back. You're watching Money, Money, Money. We've been discussing estate planning with Firoz Aziz, and we also have with us Shailendra Kinda as well as Parul and Sunil Pabari. Shailendra, you've been really quiet. You said earlier that you were too young to be making a will. Why is that?
Samira, I'm just 40 at this point of time, and I'm salaried, and I think I have a long way to go, another 20-25 years of service. And the thing is that I have a loan of 70 lakhs, and discussing my financial this thing, and life insurance policy of 1.5 crore, and have investment of around 13 lakhs into PPF and the equity mutual funds, make a SIP of around 20,000 per month into this thing. So do you think I need to create will at this point of time, or need to I really don't know what is private trust. So if you could tell me what is a private trust first of all.
Can I also know, do you have children? How old are they?
I have 2 children, son age 8 and the daughter age 4.
Very good. So I'm sure you must be making investments for their education and stuff. You have some goals in mind, I'm sure, when you're making some investments.
Yeah, I have. I want to this thing aim for their education, marriage, and my retirement, but of course.
Okay. So this is a classic case where the person is duped to believe that he does not have too much asset, he has not achieved financial independence, his goals are yet to be met, so there's no question of surplus assets. So why do I need estate planning? I'm falling short of meeting my goals. I'm still in the accumulation phase. To my mind, here a private trust is very, very critical, because when you're not around, in case of eventuality, it's not just your assets which need to be taken care of, your liabilities, your dependents need to be taken care of. So what happens is, in spite of you not meeting financial independence, your private trust would be the classic solution for you. Why would it be? See, now what happens is, in case of eventuality, your kids are minors. They would not be able to take care of your assets and liabilities. Now, for example, you have an insurance cover. How much is your insurance cover?
1.5 crore.
1.5 crores. Now, this kind of money, there has to be a guardian. Now, this money has to go towards meeting your goals, your child's education, professional education, marriage, and any other further goal. So, who would take care of this 1.5 crores? Where would this money go? Who will ensure that this is not utilized somewhere else other than where your requirements were, if you were around? So the person who would take care of it would be a trustee in the private trust.
So Firoz, how efficient is this mechanism of the private trust?
It's a very, very efficient method. In fact, people debate that it's significantly more efficient than a will, because the probability of a private trust getting contested is far lower than a will getting contested. So basically, a private trust is nothing but a legal entity which will hold your assets and seamlessly transfer your assets. So it's a very, very efficient method of transferring assets.
What all I should consider, and what should I take care or decide when I'm creating a trust? What are things which need to be taken care of?
So the critical decisions are, of course, of the trustee, of whom do you appoint as a trustee. There are also corporates who take this responsibility, saying that we will be a trustee for a fee. Okay, there are quite a few trustees in this country who are ready to do that on a fee. That's one decision you need to take. The other decision which you need to take is who are going to be the beneficiaries of these assets, and what is the proportion in which they will be a beneficiary. There's also a trust has a lifespan. You can decide that, see, now in your case the kids are 4 and 8. You would not want them to get these assets at a very young age. So you could probably, I would suggest you keep a life of the trust as 20 years. So by then your kids would be 24 and 28. They will be mature enough to manage the financial matters. So time span is one. The trustee is one. The allocation between your loved ones is another key decision which you need to take in case when you're creating a trust.
Okay, Firoz, can I change my trustee, or can I take one more than one trustee? Or if suppose I have problem with same trust, so can I make close that trust, and can I get my money back?
So the key difference between a will and a trust is, in a will you just mention, saying that in my absence this is what should happen. In a trust, there's actually a physical movement of your assets. You need to understand that there is one who's a trustee in a trust, there's a beneficiary and a settler. These are the three most important people in a private trust. A settler is the person who actually funds the trust, who puts his assets in it, is generally the trust settler. The trustee is the person who manages those assets, and the beneficiary is the person who's going to take benefit of those assets. So you have these three people. A settler can himself be the trustee in his presence, and he can nominate one of his friends, saying that if in my absence you become the trustee. Now, coming to your question of whether I'll be able to take back my assets, there are two types of private trust. One is called a revocable private trust, and there's something called the irrevocable private trust. A revocable private trust is the one where you put in your money and you can take back your money at your whims and fancy. You can close your trust and take the money. But an irrevocable trust, you've given away your right to revoke that trust. So you will never be able to lay your hands on those assets which went into a irrevocable trust.
Another question I have in my mind, whether my assets will be attached if in case of any liability which arises due to my other activity. So my assets will be attached?
Okay, so if I understand you right, you're saying that if I have maybe some liability arising on Shailendra Kinda, and the assets have moved out of your hands into the trust's hands,
yes, exactly.
The liability extrapolate to the trust.
Yes.
In an irrevocable trust, the answer is no. So what does that mean is, if you have taken a loan and you've been a guarantor to somebody's loan, and if that loan goes sour, these assets which you've moved to the trust can never be taken by the bank. So it creates a safety net for your loved ones, and that can never be attached. So that's one very big advantage of a private trust, which is an irrevocable kind, that there is complete ring fencing of those assets, and they can never be taken away by anybody, and those are earmarked for your loved ones.
Because do I need to still create a will if I've created a trust for my kids?
Yes and no. Okay, it depends on how much of significance you're going to give to your trust. If your trust is a peripheral instrument which you've created, then yes. But if you're going to take that trust as your core of estate planning, then that should suffice and you will not need a will.
Well, on that note, Shailendra, I hope all your questions have been answered. All the best with planning for your future and for your kids as well. Parul and Sunil, thanks so much for coming down to our studio. We hope that we've been of some help to you at least. But Feroz, we hope you'll stay back with us a little bit longer and indulge us just a little bit more. But that was all that you ever needed to know about estate planning. But for those of us who are still building our corpus, here's what you need to know about investing in mutual funds. It's not just about equities. Did you know that there are various kinds of funds like income funds which invest in debt instruments and are considered low risk and stable income? Then there are balanced funds, which are a mix of both equity and debt funds, providing both growth and stability. Money market schemes promise high liquidity, preservation of capital and a moderate income. These schemes generally invest in safer short-term instruments such as treasury bills or certificates of deposit. And finally, the tax saving schemes are favorite, which offer tax rebates for contributions made to any equity-linked savings schemes, or ELSS, are eligible for rebate. On that note, we'll take a very quick break. Up next is our viewer call-in segment, Can I Afford It?